What up, peeps? Monty Hicks is back in the house. I got my man Thomas is in the house. Thomas is doing the podcast. Finally got some fresh meat. And he's debuting my new couch. I just got that couch.
Oh, you just got this?
So, yes. I was a bit worried about how I was going to look on camera because, whatever.
Hey, it feels great.
It's a bigger couch because like I have so many more guests now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to get a bigger couch. So I had a love seat there. Now it's a bigger couch. I can fit at least 3 people in there.
Yeah.
I got other cameras. I can angle it different ways. But yes, you have broken the new couch.
I think you need more pillows.
No, I don't need more pillows.
You guys gotta see this. Hang on.
Well, see, I figured I'd take the pillow. Oh my God, it's getting comfortable now. I figured I'd take the pillows off once more guests show up.
Right.
But just for the decoration purposes.
These are great. Yeah, I'm not leaving. I'm moving in, bro.
He's getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So, where are you originally from?
I was born in California, but I grew up in Texas.
In Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we're going to find out where Ashley's moving to.
I would guess Austin, but...
I would assume that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you move to Texas and you don't move to Austin, you're dumb. I mean, there's other good spots, but...
How long were you there?
I was there from like 8 years old to 21.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I moved out back to California and then Nashville like 8 years ago.
Why are you in Nashville?
I was dating a girl who was a nurse, and we were long distance, and then I flew here, and I was like, I don't think I like her, but I do like this city. So I broke things off with her and stayed. Yeah.
Nashville is a good place. I like it that it's centralized to a lot of other places.
Yeah, that is good.
Within a couple of hours, you can be in a whole nother city.
If I could just change the people.
Yeah.
I hate Nashville people. Like, I know that y'all are supposed to be my fans, but y'all got some shit to figure out.
Okay, I hate the roads.
The roads are bad.
Downtown.
Downtown is the worst downtown I can think of.
Yeah, downtown is the worst. Oh, I hate it. Unless you're a tourist, I try not to go downtown at all.
If you're the type of tourist that would choose to come to Nashville, I don't think I like you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get it. I'm like, even if you like country music, I'm like, you listen to cover bands downtown.
Yeah.
You're not listening to actual country people unless
And
you buy tickets to them.
Who likes listening to country music with the smell of piss emanating into your nostrils?
Oh, yeah.
The very first time I went to Broadway, I had just moved to Nashville. It was like 2 p.m. at a bar, and I was getting brisket. I forget the fucking place, but this like huge hillbilly stood up, burped, threw up, and then fell on his side. And I was like, this is the middle of the day.
That's typical Nashville for you.
It's fucking gross.
I can literally see that.
Why are you here?
My parents moved me here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm from southern Mississippi. My family from southern Mississippi.
Yeah.
But back in the 70s to get better jobs, it was all up north. Factory jobs are everywhere.
Yes.
So they all went up north. But for some odd reason, my family thought we're somewhere in between southern Mississippi and Chicago, and that was Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I've been here ever since.
Yeah.
So I have family that's southern Mississippi, and when they go visit people in Chicago, they stop in Nashville to see us.
Yeah.
And the same thing vice versa. When people leave Chicago, they go visit family in the South. They stop in Nashville to see us.
It's kind of a good in the middle, I guess.
So I really don't necessarily have to travel to see family because they're always coming through at some point.
Yeah.
Now I like to go to Chicago. I like to go to southern Mississippi, but not to live there.
Chicago's cool. I could live in Chicago probably.
It's too big.
I want to go to New York. I think as I've been doing the comedy shit, I've been thinking I really feel like I would get a lot better if I was in a city like New York.
Yeah, I agree.
Nashville,
It all depends on your goals in comedy. If you really want to make it, you got to go to the bigger cities. LA, Chicago, New York.
Yeah. Make it. It's also like if you're good, you're guaranteed a diverse crowd of people every night. Yeah. Whereas like if you're good here, you get on at Zanies, and the Zanies crowd just kind of feels like an easy crowd. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like everyone wants to laugh at Zanies.
And then, especially in New York and Chicago, I'm not sure about LA because I've never been out there.
Yeah.
But I know that you can hit several stages within one night.
Yeah.
Because, they separate them that you can do it 5, 6, 7 o'clock and keep going.
Yeah.
And still hit due time at all these stages.
Yeah. You can sort of do that here, but at most it's 3, and 2
You
of them are so
it's
bad.
gonna be an open mic, and you might
Yeah.
do a Zanies, whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know. So yeah, Third Coast. You been to Third Coast?
Yeah, I've been there. I go
Yeah.
there a decent amount. That's a good spot. It's okay. Occasionally it'll be hot, but Cafe Coco on Fridays.
Oh yeah.
That's the one that feels like the most like you're working out material at the gym, and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
East Room on Tuesdays is a good one. Yeah, both of those are good, but it's not like, yeah, I don't
See,
know.
okay.
I'm new.
Another thing about Nashville, I like to do comedy when I'm doing it in front of an audience instead of other comedians.
Yeah.
I like comedians, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I want a real audience.
I need a real audience.
Yes.
I feel like my shtick, my personality, the comedians have heard the joke before,
Yeah.
and they are not in a headspace of being entertained. And
Yeah.
if you're around people who want to be entertained, something new comes out of you.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to get to know, is what comes out of me when the stage lights are on and it's people that
Oh,
want
yeah.
comedy.
Oh yeah.
And that's, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm new. I had a question for you.
Go
Am
for it.
I the first white person
Oh no.
you've had whites on?
No. Okay, it's been Kels and Ash who's been on the show
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah.
I've had Mike Drew here, Swiss. I've had a couple other people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just rotate it around.
Yeah.
And- okay, here's my point. Another reason why I'm doing this. Of course, I put it on YouTube and get hits or whatever.
Sure.
But I've been in the Nashville game a long time, and there's so many new people coming in.
Tons.
So I'm trying to meet all these new people,
Yeah.
and I'm trying
We
to.
suck. We're all bad.
Yeah. You see my shows, I get a list of people,
Uh-huh.
and I do know some, but then the other ones I really don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm trying to get to know these people,
Yeah.
because I don't forget names in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's how I did it. I started my podcast as a defense mechanism, because I was like, these people won't hate me if I platform them. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I'm just going to let anyone who wants to come talk. And, yeah, because the scene, are you sensitive? I'm just sensitive.
Really?
I think comics are sensitive.
No, they're not.
You don't think
you
so?
You have to be hard skinned.
You have to develop that, but I think deep down there's a part of you that's pretty sensitive.
Nah.
You know, how long have you been doing this?
Man, almost 15.
So you don't know what you're talking about. You've been in the game too long to even see it for what it
Okay,
is.
well, let's say this. My thing is I talk mostly about myself anyway.
Sure.
So I may talk about somebody in the audience and have fun with that, but I try not to put the direction toward them.
Yeah.
Put it toward me. So
Yeah.
if I'm used to talking about myself,
Talking shit about yourself,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
so then if somebody else does it, then I've already done it to myself. So you can't do it any
Sure.
worse than I can do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. They find new ways though.
yeah.
It's like even the way that like your mouth moves while you're talking, it's like a good comedian will make fun of that. You know, it's like nothing is safe. Nothing is safe. The way I reach for a coffee cup is gonna be criticized.
Man, one year what we did was for Halloween we all drew names from a hat and imitated another comedian.
I've thought about doing that. That would be fun.
And we did that, and oh my God, we had so much fun with that. And my thing is, we didn't know who was doing who, so it's like
You knew who you were doing, but
Yeah.
not who was doing you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as you were doing, their stick or their jokes, I'm like, oh yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah.
But it
You're
was
doing their
fun.
jokes also, or your jokes in their
It
style?
was either way. You could do it either way.
Yeah.
Either do your jokes in their style or do their jokes in their style.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That would be fun. I want to do that. I want to do roast battles because I feel like roasting would be a fun skill to develop.
Yeah.
I like the different show formats because I feel like you're getting to like try out different styles, and then there's not pressure on like the joke itself. Like sometimes it's like if you're only working on the joke structure, it's just boring, and it's like half of it is you have to get your personality polished too, and you get your personality polished by like having to riff and freestyle and
Yeah.
so who knows.
So yeah, my only thing about roast battle is that I don't want to cut too deep. Like talking about comedians being sensitive.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut too deep. Yeah, you're making fun, you're having fun with it, but you don't want to hit that nerve, and then they're pissed at you. Now they want to put you on their shows or whatever.
Oh
whatever
yeah,
it
like
could be.
actually bother someone.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
that's
think
the only thing I worry about.
I think I piss people off without trying. It's like, how worse could a roast be?
And then plus you have to know the comedians. You gotta get their background and find out.
Sure.
And then make fun of that.
Yeah,
so,
just by observing though, it's like you can. I've noticed that like there's like there's at least 5 comedians who have tics.
Yeah.
Like little, like unconscious movements.
Yeah.
Or like one guy does this a lot, and another guy like does this, and another guy talks out of the side of his mouth, and it's like it's easy to see the strain on this person's body, and that's the part where it's like you don't want to make fun of the anxiety.
And
of a person.
how long have you been doing comedy?
Like 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable on stage?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel. When there's people, something comes out of me that I really like.
Yeah.
I'm not good at jokes yet, but it's like I'll bomb with jokes, but then in between I'll be like playful and feel good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got to really work on the jokes.
Because I love my man Shane Blanchie.
Bianchi,
whatever his last name is.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I tell him all the time, like, dude, I feel like you just stand there and tell jokes. I wish you would be more comfortable and walk around the stage and let the jokes flow free. He's a good joke writer.
Yeah.
But I just wish he would
his
more
showmanship.
expressive.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not making fun of the guy. I'm just saying, hey, everybody has their own style.
Shane, Monty thinks you suck. He told me before we turned the camera on, he was like, I'm gonna rip on Shane, and I want you to go along with it. So I'm sorry, buddy, but it's his train. Yeah. Shane,
funny.
You suck. No, I kind of agree with you, but I also think like anytime someone gives advice, I'm always like, maybe you're right, but at the same time, kinda no one really knows, because it's like we're each a unique thing, and it's like to compare him to like a comedian with swag is almost, you might miss out on like him going deeper into the isolated, uncomfortable style that might really set him apart.
Yeah.
Because it's like I've seen him get warm, and and it's warm through cringe almost. Like there's something. It's almost like if he were to seem comfortable, it would be less funny.
No,
you know?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Everybody has their thing, but yeah.
I also just disagree with anything everyone says. So, like, you could have said the opposite, and I'd be like, no, you should get comfortable.
Oh, that's funny. But I don't know. It's just when it feels like it flows free from you.
Loose.
It just feels like you're loose on stage.
Yeah.
Because to me, I don't want it to feel scripted. Because if you feel like you just you're reading out of a book in your head, then it doesn't seem like you're being funny.
The performance of it, and that's the thing. So just to stay on Shane, like Shane's performance of it, almost like he kind of scrunches his face, and like it is a performance, but it's on a much dialed down.
Yeah. I'm gonna call it the Shane Show.
The Shane Show. He's a terrible host.
Love to death. Really?
Yeah.
I think. Host.
I mean. I take it back. He's not that bad, but he is bad. Certain people should host. I think I would be a good host. I think you're a pretty good host. Like it's like you have to be a warm, charismatic, comforting kind of energy to get everyone settled. And like when some people host, and it's like you come across as a not nice person, or you come across as like it's just dark energy. It's like that's not the most. It's not the best facilitator.
My thing is, I just like to talk to the audience for a while.
Yeah.
So I see a couple sitting here, a couple sitting there. I talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, you always ask the questions of comedians who has a birthday or anniversary, and it leads to a different joke, a different direction. So I feel like I'm comfortable as being a conversationalist.
Yes.
Versus just, hey, I'm a joke.
Yes.
So make the audience feel like they're involved with you.
Yes, I think Mike Drew talked about this the other day. When he was on my podcast, and he started hosting. He basically started filling in as an MC, and it's like if you ever you want to kind of. I always try and start my sets with crowd work. Louis C.K. said this one time, and I really appreciated it. It was he stays out of his material as long as he can.
Yeah.
Because you want to be present with what's there.
Yeah.
And then when you finally have to get into the material, get into the material. And a lot of times what I notice in myself or other people, when you're uncomfortable, your crowd work is like so thin and fragile,
Yes,
and then
indeed.
you get into the joke and it never feels like you're there. Whereas if you can establish and play a little bit, then they already think this guy's interesting and maybe funny, then they listen to you. And there's this mic that's really Lakeside Lounge on Tuesdays. It's really unruly. And there was like 50 people there one time. They were all there because their buddy was doing stand-up for the first time. And it was chaos. And I went up there and I didn't talk for like 30 seconds until they started to murmur about what's this weird guy doing. And then finally I was like, hello. And then it's like just the challenge of that. Instead of being afraid of that, I've been trying to like really enjoy that part. And because the jokes are going to suck. I know my jokes are bad. So like...
Have more confidence.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think you learn how to write good for a while.
But another thing I look at too is that sometimes it all depends on how much time you have.
Yeah.
Because the longer time you have, I feel like the more crowd work you do, and you can do crowd work between jokes.
Okay, so at your show the other day, I wasn't sure if I did 15 minutes or 3. Like, I'm not good at that yet. Like, I think instinctively I know what 4 minutes feels like because that's all I get. You know, it's like the mic time. And then I did 6 on your show, and I was like, it's a different feeling to go longer. I feel like it scares me a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm used to controlling the energy for 5 minutes. Whereas if it was Mike Drew at your show, near the end, he was starting to be in some territory that I think was a little challenging for him. And to say it nicely, fuck you, Mike Drew. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Nah, but just that longer, like, oof, I'm getting sweaty just thinking about doing. Yeah.
So the thing is, the longer time I have, the slower I talk.
Yeah.
I feel like I can talk and be comfortable versus speeding through jokes. I don't want to speed through a joke. My first time on stage, you got to give me 5 minutes, and I run up all my material.
You were done probably in a minute.
Yeah, I was done in 3 minutes. So I'm like, man, I didn't pause. I didn't let the joke marinate.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better at that. There's a couple jokes I do where it's like, if I intentionally pause, there will be a second laugh after a little bit.
Yeah.
Versus if I just run over it, then it's like it didn't bloom all the way.
Yes.
And that's hard, because each punchline has a beat to it of how much you should pause. Some, it's like you go, hit the punchline and keep moving, and then the chuckle comes because you kept moving. And then other times it's like the chuckle comes because you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
And
it's a learning
that's
process.
why it takes so fucking long. I fucked up the other day. I was at an open mic after a show, and you're good. And I made friends with this two couples. I made friends with them because we got on the elevator they were audience and I was a comedian, to get on the elevator together, and they were like, oh, are you doing comedy tonight? And I was like, yeah. They bought me a shot. I was real friendly with them, and I was like, I'm gonna murder because these fucking strangers love me. I get on stage, do my first joke, and the bitch interrupts me. Yeah.
Really?
She was like, oh, no. And I was like, what? I was like, I'm this far from the first punchline. I established the joke for like 35 seconds, and I'm ready to hit, and she interrupts right at the punchline, and I have to address that and then try and rebuild.
Yeah.
It's been bombed. It's fucking the Ukraine right now, and this bitch didn't know she was doing anything wrong, and so I was like, what are you doing? And then as I was on stage, I was realizing, I was like, I'm making a big mistake. I should have got through the punchline and then addressed it.
Yeah.
Because now I'm stuck up here. Woof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a learning process.
To just learn,
do. And another thing too is that if I know some drunk people are up front or whatever, I try to shut them up before I even start the joke.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, look, pay attention because here it comes. So there's a lot of times that you can tell who's drunk in the audience and who's going to be obnoxious and stuff like that. So I was like, man, I better nip this in the bud before I even start the joke.
Sometimes I like the rowdy people. Like at your show, I kind of like that first lady was like, porn, of course. And I was like, who is this whore? And like that feeling, like it's like, I liked that.
Yeah, sometimes you can hit it and nail it.
Yeah.
Other times you just don't know.
Yeah, it's such a...
Goodness. But I love it. I love comedy. Okay, have you always been a fan of comedy or just kind of picked up with it?
Nah, I started watching Joe Rogan, and because he does comedy I was like, I'm kidding.
Just
There are
because-
so many people that started comedy because of it's become popular now, and that's part of it. I think that's what gave me like the courage to try it.
Yeah.
Is because it started to be presented to me in like a really relaxed way, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll try it. Because I always took myself really seriously. I wanted to be a good person. I wanted to be a productive member of society. And
Now
then
you're being funny.
after Trump, I was like, oh shit, nothing matters.
Well, my thing is, as you know, we're all local comedians, so we go to the same places all the time.
Yeah.
So I've always been a fan, so I would follow the comedians wherever they would perform at. And I would talk to them at the show, and Monty, you're funny, why don't you try it? And up until then, I never thought about it. Because I go back to loving Bill Cosby and Richard Pryor and George Carlin, Jerry Seinfeld. I loved all the greats.
Yeah.
Just been a fan of everybody who can get on stage and do that. So I found there was vocals. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to follow y'all because I'm a fan no matter what. So they're like, well, you're funny, why don't you try it? I never thought about it until then. So then once I did it, I'm like, man, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Did you bomb your first time or do well? You
but
bombed.
like I said, I did it too fast.
Yeah.
Well, I felt
Rush,
that way.
Yeah.
I felt like
I
had
can
to-
like picture you doing it right now. I'm like, oh yeah, he's bombing.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first jokes?
No, I don't.
At all?
I
Yeah.
remember
15
when-
years is a long time to
Yeah,
remember.
I went through my books and I read a bunch of my jokes, but I can't remember which was the first one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, all these are not that great. But I mean, they're good, but it just, you gotta pep it up. You gotta spice it up to make it good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the premise. There's something I had at the very beginning that I've lost a little bit. Like I listened back and watched back my first set. I had an act out where I was talking about how awful aggressive porn is, and I had the impulse. I didn't plan this, but I was like, oh, I have to show you. I told the audience, oh, I gotta show you. So I laid on my back and like used the microphone like it was the big dick like filling my throat, and that was like that did well. And to imagine me trying to do that again today, I can't picture it and that's what I'm saying is like I lost something. It's like it's almost like half the battle of comedy is you've become self-conscious because you know what it feels like to eat a dick. And that first time I didn't know what failing would be like, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go all the way. And now I'm like, they don't like me.
Well, I look at it this way. Did you see? Well, did you get there pretty early? You were there for the whole show, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lloyd was another one who acted out a good joke, like getting fingered. I forgot his joke.
Oh, the
So-
prostate.
Yeah,
The prostate
thing.
joke.
I like the way he did that.
Yeah.
My thing is, I had a couple of jokes back in the day that I used to act out, and I haven't done that in a long time. So I was looking at him thinking, damn, you know what? I haven't acted out a joke in a while.
Yeah.
Because normally I'm hosting, so normally I'm just talking to the audience, getting everybody to sit down and shut up, whatever, and then I crack a joke, and then I get off stage for the next person. But I'm like, man, I got to get back to writing because I miss acting out the joke.
Yeah, I think like I don't know. It feels like it's not just your mind, it's your body too. Like I've noticed that I'm always holding on to the mic stand. I'm like this, and I'm like, it's like I'm fucking shifting the gearbox.
I do that too, but I hate
It's
to do
anxious.
that.
It tells the crowd that you're not comfortable, and if you're acting something out, you have to be in your body. I think after this conversation, I'm gonna do an act out.
Because I try to eventually get it out of my way, so I'm not fucking with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's almost like a crutch.
Yes.
I can hold on to it.
Yes.
Something I can like put my arm on to.
To ground you almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's not good.
I get it.
It's not good.
It makes me more relaxed to play with something besides just hold a microphone.
Yeah. I always started pulling the microphone out, and apparently you're not supposed to do that. I don't know. People and their fucking rules of comedy, it's all garbage. But I have been keeping it in lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I put my hands behind my back, or I'll like kind of be more poised, and it's keeping me here. Whereas when I've got the mic, sometimes I walk around like I'm anxious, you know? So I would just want to try it all, you know? I want to practice all the different, I want to try being mean, I want to try being goofy, I want to try admitting I'm a monster, I just want to do it all and just see what sticks.
I'm not sure, excuse me, I'm not sure if I've told you this or know this about me. We're at 24 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, last point. I used to be a magician before I was a comedian.
Oh, no shit.
So I tried to transfer being a magician to being on stage.
Yeah.
And it's hard to because I'm only a coin and card trick, little string and rope.
Yeah.
And you try to take care of a whole audience, they can't see what what you're doing in the back.
Yeah, you're used to focusing on
this.
this.
Yeah, right there. So
yeah.
I tried to do it a long time ago, and I got away with some good jokes. I tried to learn better tricks for the stage.
Yeah.
But no, I'm like, man, let me just stick with comedy.
Yeah.
So
Just
I
the
like
jokes.
comedy much better than. I mean, I still do magic. You know, people catch me after the show sometimes, and I'll pull out a magic trick here and there, and they're like, man, you're good at this. I'm like, well, yeah, I've been doing it forever.
Yeah. Is that prop comedy? Is that almost?
Yeah,
almost?
I don't know. I was trying to be funny and do
Yeah.
magic at the same time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, see, you gotta either you're great at both of them or just pick one.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
man, magic is gonna be too hard to do.
Yeah, I was into magic for a little while when I would go to summer camp.
Did you pick up magic?
Oh yeah. Because I remember there was one card trick I could do that like the girls loved it.
Oh yeah.
They're like, how'd you do that? And I was like, let me see your titties. I'll tell you.
That was slick.
Yeah. I'll show you if you show me your titties. It's a pretty good trick, Monty.
Yeah. The last time I was at Rebar and I was doing magic, this guy, of course he's drunk, I guess. I don't know. But every time I would do a magic trick for him, he would pay me $100. I'm like, are you kidding me?
What, was this a black guy, white guy?
White guy. He was drunk.
That feels racist to me when he would do that. I don't like if like a white person's like giving a lot of money for a little thing to a black guy. I'm like, dude.
I'm like, look, if you have the magic to throw away like that, I got tons of tricks I can do.
Sure, yeah.
So I kept going. He got about the end of it, I got $300 out of him and a couple of shots.
That's wild.
So I'm like, dude, if I could do this on a regular basis.
Woof. Yeah, but that's not typical. That guy has problems. Was he a nice guy or was he
nice.
fucked up a little? Really?
Yeah.
I have a habit of assuming the worst in people.
No, really?
Yeah.
Nah.
Like I think you're pumping gas in here right now. Are you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh God. You don't have a roommate. I'm gonna decompose in the spare bedroom.
Oh my goodness. And on that note, well, that's 27.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
Well, Pete, we'll do another one.
Yeah,
yeah. If you're watching this, I also have a podcast.
Yes.
I'm not good at comedy yet, but I'm getting better. But my podcast is the Peeping Tom Podcast on YouTube.
Yes.
And you can probably link to it in your bio thing.
I'll put it in there.
Yeah. Watch that, and if you like me, come out to some shows and shit. Yeah.
Just do some shit.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So with that being said, yes, we've had a great show. Love, peace, and hair grease. I forgot to do I got this new box that does an audience laugh.
Oh, you got laugh track, yeah.
So we can applaud. I know you can't hear, but I can hear my
It's on there.
But yeah, you'll hear it. But yeah, I love it. I should do it at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's it. That is it for today. We'll bring out another podcast in just a minute. Like, subscribe, and comment. Peace out.
See ya, everyone.